Hello and happy Friday, everybody. It's hashtag FAQ Friday, live from my office in Windermere. And this week's frequently asked question has come from a number of organisations, business owners and managers who are just wanting to clarify the announcement that was made the other day with regard to mask wearing. Should we wear them or not, is the thing, and what should we do? So as of the 19th of January, we were told by the government that nobody is required any longer to work from home. So we've seen an increase of people now working, going to cities, centres, and going to the office, going to work. Who now doesn't have to work from home, which has had an impact in the hospitality industry because people are actually starting to see a rise in people using the venues, etc. But the latest requirement or not requirement is on the 27th of January, where you are not required to wear a face covering at all. However, it is advisable to wear one in a crowded or indoor spaces as per the government's website. They have mentioned that it is quite handy that if you're with people who you don't normally meet, to make sure that you wear a mask as well, but it is mainly in crowded and indoor spaces. The other aspect as well is it's no longer needed to show your NHS COVID pass at venues and events by law. So that's been a welcome relief in the events industry and venue industry, who has been having a little bit of a tough time now. The other element that I wanted to showcase today, because that was a lot of questions that have been coming in with regard to clarification, is it all clear now? Are we back to normality? Well, that's as of the 27th of January. However, there's another big issue that's happening in the industry as bounce back loans were being paid back. And I've got a lot of business owners and managers who have contacted me and said, where do we stand with this? We were impacted in December quite heavily, and we've got a cash flow issue in January, and now we've got VAT invoices to go in, HMRC, etc. So I've investigated, and there is a recovery loan scheme that is actually on the government website, and it's listed on the British Business Bank's website as well, for the lenders who are on there. So the government have said that they will guarantee 80% of the finance to the lender. However, you've got to remember, it's a guarantee. The government have guaranteed, not offered to pay 80%. So it's a guarantee of 80% of the finance to the lender. But remember, you are liable for 100% of the debt. You actually are. Now, there's lots of conditions with regard to this and eligibility. You've got to meet these following criteria: that you would have been viable, you would be viable if not for the pandemic. You have been adversely impacted by the pandemic, and hospitality has had tick on these, and not in collective insolvency proceedings. So if you are a business that have already received support under earlier COVID-19 guaranteed loan scheme, then you are still eligible to access finance under the scheme if you meet that criteria. Now, there are some elements with regard to this, that you can get term loans or overdrafts of between £25,000 and a penny, £25,000 up to £10 million per business. Invoice or assistance finance of between £1,000 and £10 million per business, but there's no personal guarantees which will be taken on facilities up to £250,000, and borrowers' principal private residence cannot be taken as security, which is a welcome relief to a lot of hospitality businesses. How long is the loan for? Well, basically the maximum length of the facility depends on the type of finance you apply for, and will be up to 3 years for overdrafts and invoice finance facilities, or up to 6 years for loans and asset finance facilities. So there is changes obviously from the 1st of January 2022, because at the autumn budget 2021, the Chancellor announced that the recovery loan scheme would be extended until the 30th of June 2022. So you've got to, you know, from the 1st of January 2022, the following changes came into force. The scheme will only be open to small and medium-sized operations, enterprises. The maximum amount of finance available will be £2 million per business, and the guarantee coverage that the government will provide to lenders has now been reduced to 70%. So there's additional support. I would certainly talk to your accountants, I would talk to your business bank manager, and I would certainly have a conversation with regard to your accountant. If you cannot pay your tax bill, there's payment schemes coming in for the HMRC. Have a conversation with your accountant and see what they suggest that you do in your bank manager, because right now cash flow is an issue, but we don't want you to be in a situation where you potentially could be going under. And try and get all your invoices paid on your top line, all your income. Be really clear on your cash flow and understand what your finances are doing right now. It is tough times, and it is tough out there, but I want to help and support you so that you're in a very positive position. So I hope that's helped. May I wish you a happy Friday. May I wish you a happy weekend and all the very best. And you know where I am, Alison at ajlakes.com. Take care. Bye-bye.